The water is wrong. Ziolke, a young male of the clan, kneels by the stream that has been the heart of this valley for generations of his kind. He dips his cupped hands, drinks, and spits the water out with a grimace. It tastes of sulfur and grit, a flavor of deep minus earth sickness, for a creature whose existence is a constant negotiation with thirst. This is more than an inconvenience. It is a betrayal by the world itself. The fish, usually a quick and easy meal, float pale and still in the shallows or gone entirely. This is a profound and terrifying change in the rhythm of prehistoric life. A rhythm these small, minus-brained but keenly aware hominids depend upon utterly. The mind of Homo habilis does not think in geology. It thinks in signs, in spirits, in the gut-minus-deep feeling that the world is tilting off its axis. Luna, the clan's oldest female, feels it in her bones. The earth shudders, not with the violence of a great quake, but with a constant, low tremor, a vibration that travels up through the soles of her feet and hums in her teeth. The birds have fallen silent. The herds of 3 stoned horse that normally graze the lower slopes are gone. A mass migration that speaks of a fear greater than any predator. Her people, a clan of maybe 20 individuals, huddle closer together in their rock shelter, their dark eyes wide with a shared anxiety. Their simple but effective old Owen tools, choppers for smashing bone, sharp flakes for cutting hide, lay in use. There is little to hunt, little to prepare. The hunters return with empty hands and stories of a strange grey dust coating the leaves, of a stillness in the forest that feels like a held breath. This is life million years ago, a tapestry of instinct and immediate need. Now, a thread has been pulled, and the entire pattern is unraveling. At night, they watch the mountain that looms over their home. It has always been there, the silent guardian. Now it seems to brood. A faint, dull-smelling smoke leaks from its peak, staining the star-dusted sky. They see it not as venting gas, but as the mountain's breath, slow and angry. Una begins a low, rhythmic chant, a plea to whatever spirit resides in the rock and fire. The others join in, their voices a fragile shield against a dread they cannot name. A larger tremor shakes them, rattling loose stones from the cliff face. A child cries out, clinging to its mother. In the sudden silence that follows, a new sound reaches them. A low, guttural roar that does not come from any animal. It comes from the belly of the earth. The mountain has spoken, and it is a word of fire. There is no sound at first, only a pressure that pushes the air from their lungs. Then the world tears apart. The peak of the mountain vanishes in a bloom of incandescent orange, hurling rock and fire miles into the sky. The roar that follows is not a sound one hears with the ears. It is a physical blow, a wave of force that flattens trees and throws the small hominids from their feet. Panic, pure and absolute, ignites. This is a force beyond their comprehension, a monster of smoke and fire descending upon them. Una is the first to her feet, screaming a single, guttural command that means move. They scramble into the growing darkness. The frantic, desperate exodus. The sun is gone, blotted out by a tidal wave of ash. It begins to rain, not water, but grey, gritty powder that clogs the nose and throat, turning every breath into a rasping struggle. The world of the late Pleistocene is a brutal stage, but this is an entirely new act of annihilation. Behind them, flowing down the mountain's flanks at impossible speed, is a cloud that is not a cloud. It is a river of incandescent gas and pulverized rock, an avalanche of fire that incinerates everything in its path. This is a pyroclastic flow, nature's most violent expression, a force that unminus makes the world. They do not know its name. They only know the searing heat on their backs and the demonic roar that pursues them. A child falls, its cry swallowed by the cacophony. Its mother turns, but Ziolke is faster. He scoops the child into his arms without breaking stride, a pure act of altruism in the heart of the apocalypse. He grabs the mother's arm, pulling her along, his eyes fixed on Anna's silhouette in the gloom. The community, fragile as it is, Holds. They move as one body, fueled by a collective terror. In the chaos, they are not the only ones fleeing. A shadow detaches itself from the grail landscape. A cave lion, its coat matted with ash, its eyes glowing with panicked fury, displaced from its lair. It is not hunting for food but lashing out at a world that has betrayed it. It fixes on the stragglers, the mother in COK with the child. The beast charges. There is no time for spears. No chance to stand and fight. Intelligence, raw and instantaneous, is their only weapon. COK sees a steep embankment of loose scree to his left. He veers, pushing the mother ahead of him and half-mine is sliding. Half-mine is running down the unstable slope. The lion follows, but its weight is its undoing. The ground, already unsettled by the tremors, gives way. COK's desperate gamble pays off as a river of rock and dash cascades downwards, sweeping the great cat with it. The Hirit's enraged snarl fade as it is buried. They don't look back. They just run, plunging deeper into the suffocating twilight. A small band of early humans racing against the death of their world. They run until their lungs are fire and their legs give out. The roar behind them fades to a distant, angry rumble, and the rain of ash thins to a ghostly, silent fall. They collapse, a heap of panting, trembling bodies in a world rendered in shades of grey. Dawn does not break. It seeps into the sky, a weak, bruised light struggling to penetrate the thick haze that has swallowed the sun. When they can finally see, the sight is one of absolute desolation. Their valley, their home, their entire world is gone. It is buried under a thick, steaming blanket of grey ashen drop. The stream is a river of mud. The forest is a collection of blackened, skeletal sticks. It is a Pompeii of the pre-minus human world, a scene that future paleontology will struggle to piece together from fossilized footprints and layers of volcanic tuff. The silence is the most terrifying part. There are no birds, no insects, no rustle of life in the undergrowth. The world has been sterilized, boiled clean. They are the only living things in a landscape of death. Of the 20 who started the frantic race, only 7 remain. Buna, COK, the mother and her child, and 3 other young adults. They are the inheritors of a silent earth. Una looks at the faces of her small, broken clan. She sees not just exhaustion and fear, but a profound, soul-minus deep shock. The place that has defined their existence, the territory of their human ancestors, has been erased in a single night. This emotional turning point is a brutal lesson in the impermanence of things. They huddle together for warmth against a cold that has nothing to do with the temperature. COK, holding the child who has now fallen into an exhausted sleep, looks to Una. His eyes ask the question that has no words: what now? For 2 days they remain, paralyzed by the sheer scale of the catastrophe. They drink from muddy puddles and chew on the few charred roots COK manages to dig from the ash. But this is not life. It is a slow death. On the 3rd morning, Una rises. She stands and looks not back at the dead mountain, but towards the horizon. A hazy, indistinct line to the west where the sky is marginally brighter. She makes a choice. It is a choice born not of hope, but of necessity. She takes a single step, then another. She does not look back to see if they are following. She knows they will. Their survival now depends not on the memory of the world they have lost, but on the terrifying, unknown promise of a world they have yet to find. COK lifts the child, who stirs but does not wake. The others rise. Their movements slow and stiff. Like ghosts, Ray-minus learning how to walk. They fall into a single file line behind their matriarch, a fragile procession of 7 hominids marching out of the ruins of their Eden. Their footprints the first story to be written on this new, blank page of their planet's history. The footprints they leave in the soft ash will harden into rock. A silent testament for a future science to discover, a snapshot of survival, a story of movement. That agonizing decision to turn away from the familiar ruin and walk into the terrifying unknown was more than just a flight for survival. It was a foundational act of the human spirit. In that moment, Una and her tiny band were not just displaced animals, they were pioneers. Every great migration in our species' long and turbulent history begins with such a choice to abandon the grave of the past for the slim possibility of a future. The volcanic ash that sterilized their world also fertilized it, and in time, life would return. But our ancestors would not. They were already gone, pushing the boundaries of their world, carrying the memory of fire in their genes. We are the children of those who refused to die in the ashes of their home. The instinct to look towards the horizon when all is lost, the courage to take that first step into the unknown, that is their most profound legacy. It is the primal engine of progress, the restlessness that took us out of the valley, and eventually, to the stars. The earth remembers. We are the voice it gave to that memory. But what if the greatest threat is not the fury of the earth, but the reflection in the water,